am so excited to bring you a pantry declutter because it was needed even before the holidays. And it was, oh, there goes my phone. It was so unorganized. It made it look like we had way too much food, which we do have too many canned goods. But if you're looking for some motivation, inspiration in your pantry, I didn't buy anything for this project, so hang on. We're going to make it a thing of beauty. I'm so excited. The first thing I'm doing is getting everything taken out of one shelf. You can see my husband working to the right of us. He works from home and he works in the dining room. So I'm trying not to take everything out of the pantry. That would be a mess. There we are in all of its glory. I thought, okay, let's show the mess. So I'm mostly getting everything off of this shelf, but I don't really have a master plan. And by the way, not touching anything on the messy door. That's going to be a project for another time. I need to get really creative and think of what to do instead of what I currently have on the door, which I don't love. I'm also making sure that nothing is expired. In fact, I had stuffing just a little bit from Thanksgiving, and I thought it's just honestly not worth keeping. So I got rid of that, and as I go, I will get rid of anything that is expired, like that graham cracker pie crust I had in my hand. I had 2 in the pantry, and one of them expired in 2023. So I thought, might not taste the best. I'm just keeping track of all of the things. And you'll see in the background on the wall is birds. And I got decals from Amazon and put those on the back of the pantry, and I absolutely love it. It gives me such joy. And it also gives me incentive not to overfill the pantry. I'm going to be using this. It's leftover flooring from our bathroom because I need a flat surface. These just don't work in a basket. They're always falling over because of the weave. And then I forget I have them. You could get plywood from Lowe's or something. I've seen people that are covering their wire shelves with plywood and then putting like a decorative edge. I'm just choosing to use what I have. Oh, it's 2 pieces. Perfect. I decided with things like salad dressing and soy sauce, things like that I didn't want them in a box or keeper. I just wanted them on the shelf. I just felt like it's easier to see them and it's easier to get them out of the pantry. And then I had a box of jasmine rice and a small box of basmati, and that was a container of ranch. And so I thought they'd be much better flat, but the wire shelving isn't really great for something like that because it's uneven. So putting a smooth surface on top really did help. I never decant for the sake of decanting. Usually if I decant, I have a reason for it. I saw that I had this container of lasagna noodles, and honestly, I don't even remember this. But I had 2 other boxes, and I thought, okay, let's see if they fit. Strangely, they fit perfectly. It's always such a grand mystery to me how I watch Pantry Organization and everything always fits perfectly. So I almost feel like I need to keep this little clip to always remember that one thing I had did fit perfectly. Now I had emptied out a basket and was about to fill it with crackers and such. And Leo decided that it was the perfect shape for a little bed for him, of course. So he quickly took over, and I didn't have the heart to boot him out. So yeah, we're going to have to wait a little on that. And here I am posing with my perfectly decanted lasagna noodles that fit in a way that nothing ever will again for me. I put the lasagna noodles up and the rest of the pasta that we had, which really wasn't much, but spoiler alert, I'm going to change my mind on those other boxes of pasta. And then I had this container of corn flour, and it was a bird food container before that, and I had never actually changed the label. I had kept part of the container inside of it in a Cloud Lock bag. The reason for that was that way I could see, number one, what it was, but more importantly, what the expiration date is. I'm trying to take my time and do things well and make sure everything is labeled. I love to organize, but I don't love to organize when everything is a big rush. I don't love to organize when I spend too much time on my feet. But if I take things slow and if I take breaks when I need breaks, then I actually enjoy the process, and I had a blast doing this pantry declutter and organize. Also, I have over the years come to be at peace with the fact that I don't go in with an overall plan, but I kind of let it unfold as I go. It also works better because, as you can see, I'm just letting Leo stay there. It also works better for me because, in 6 months when I do this again, or in 3 months, or in 1 month, we might be eating different foods. And so I don't like to get too sold on it being like permanently the same all of the time. When I watch a lot of pantry videos and they decant everything and they have a jar and a space for every single thing, and it's not in generalities, I realize that just wouldn't work for me because we don't always eat the same foods all the time. We tend to eat the same thing for a while and then we get sick of it and we do something different. So I want it to be flexible. This is kind of a reverse haul. I just showed you some coconut macaroons and what was that? Some chocolates from the girls. That's actually hot cocoa. So we have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. There's some cashews. And then this is a container that we use in the summer, well, spring, summer, fall, for s'mores. And the marshmallows in there were pretty hard, so I threw those away. And then I'm going to store this up at the top, and we'll bring it out again in the spring. And then I always find things that remind me of, when somebody will drink all of the milk and put 2 drops of milk back in the refrigerator. There was very few Thai noodles there, certainly not enough for anyone to have a meal or a spoonful. Some old stuffing. So I'm just going through it, and I'm throwing away like hardened rolls and wraps and those types of things that have really expired, even if they don't say they've expired. And then some noodles, we're just getting everything organized. And, because I don't have a huge grand plan, I'm putting things away, and then I end up changing my mind later and reorganizing it, which is absolutely fine. It's also the reason why I like to take my time and not go too quickly. Let me know in the comments below, are you the type of person that will take breaks as you do a project, or do you have a really hard time with that? Are you the kind of person that wants to do things start to finish and then give yourself a break? When I was younger, I used to go full steam ahead until I was a puddle on the floor, and with age comes wisdom, and I have learned the benefit of breaks, and it's more of a necessity now, but at the same time also, I know I don't want to be a puddle on the floor at the end of a project. I want to have some steam left in me for the rest of the day, and if it means things have to wait until another day, I am absolutely fine with that. It's more important for me to enjoy the journey. Last night I got interrupted. Supper time came too soon, and I just left the whole mess on the dining room. No, not on the dining room. I left the whole mess in the kitchen and just stopped. So now it is day 2 of the great pantry declutter. Our power just went out because we have a little bit of wind. I'm telling you. So I'm going to try to film anyway, and I'm going to hope it's not too dark. Here is my new shirt. Can you see that? It says, "Love like Jesus." It's for Valentine's Day. Look at my high waters. I need to pull those down. I was just relaxing on my bed to have a lunch break, and the power went out, so it's time to get downstairs. Here is what was left out overnight, and we all survived. It was absolutely fine. One of the things I wanted to do was to write down an inventory of all of the canned goods, because no matter how I store canned goods, you have some cans behind others that don't match. Even once I got those holders for cans that you can buy in the store, but I'm not going to buy a whole row of one thing. I would need so many can holders for that. So I don't like to do it that way, but I do need to keep track of what I have, and I do want to eat down things where we have too much. I don't like to carry a lot of extras in the house. I'm not at the stock it phase of life. It actually stresses me out to have too much food in the house. I feel like it's going to get wasted or it's going to expire. I know that people who do that, they rotate what they have. But for me, it's a lot easier to just have in the house what we're going to eat. It's just easier to manage. And that is the phase of life that I'm in right now. So I have this list and then I can be updating it as we use the food. Again, this is vinyl plank flooring that we used in our upstairs bathroom remodel, and we had some extra pieces. And so to see if I liked having the little flat pieces on my wire shelving, I decided to go with stuff I had. And then if I want to do something more permanent later, we can do that. But actually, you know, I like the idea of using something that I already have. We also have some thin plywood in the basement, and I'm going to keep that because I think that could also work. But in order to use that thin plywood, I would need my husband to trim it. It was too wide, or it came out forward toward the door too far, and so it wasn't going to work for right now. But if I needed it on other shelves, or if I ever wanted to make things look, you know, more standard, more fancy, I could paint the plywood, I could put wallpaper on it, you know, I could do something for it and make it more decorative. So that's just kind of an idea I have in the back of my head. But I liked the idea that I could just go down, grab the flooring, put it right up, and be done with it without having to ask any help. And plus, it's gray marbling, so it's actually pretty, and it's not an eyesore. It worked perfectly. It gave me a nice flat surface for all of these cans. I did try to be as organized as I could on where I was putting each food item, but just being realistic as we use things and as we buy canned goods and other people are putting things away. You know, not everyone wants it to be a complete organized piece of art like I tend to want it to be. You know, I kind of sink into these projects and then I want to maintain it. But if I maintain it, that means I'm the one putting the groceries away and it ends up being another chore for me. So I have to be comfortable with letting what is organized get kind of disorganized and just be fixing it when I can. And using labels definitely helps. So I know in this spot cans will go, but you know, it's not going to be all the diced tomatoes together, all of the vegetables together, that sort of thing. And I just have to be at peace with that. You know, it's kind of like the way I fold towels or the way I fold face cloths. Not everyone who folds is going to do it my way, even if I show them my way. The day before, when I had this deeper basket that Leo took possession of, I planned to put the crackers and snacks in there, but having the evening to think about it, I thought it would actually make more sense to put them in this more shallow basket and to save the deeper basket for something else. So we had some saltines and we had some Ritz crackers, and I put those in there. And then I also decided to put some granola bars in there that the girls use for snacking as well. It was interesting to watch everyone after I had done my pantry organize and declutter, because usually they open the pantry door and they stand there for a few minutes. And then they kind of rummage around and get what they want and go. But with the labels and everything organized, it was open the door, grab what you want, and bam, off you go. I'm really hoping that I can keep this up for quite a while. I know over time it's going to get unorganized and I'll have to do it again, which is fine because I really enjoyed it actually. But I'm really hoping we can keep it up because it does really help. And I think it's going to save us money as well, because I won't be buying things that we already have because I'm missing it too. And I think especially with the canned goods, that's going to happen. Also, one of you had said that I should have a spot in the pantry for my Optivia foods because I was storing them under our bed. And so I have also dedicated this shelf to my Optivia foods. There is going to be, you'll see, a basket in the middle that has other things, but I definitely did take your advice, and I think it was Sharon who said it, but I know others have said it too, that I needed to have a dedicated spot because it is the food of the house also. And so I was getting all of my Optivia foods organized as well. I wanted to also show you a new cleaner I bought because I decided to try out some of the cleaners from Dollar Tree. I had heard they had a natural line out, and do your own research for sure. This is the lime and calcium remover, and it's lemongrass. I will say it is very acidic in the scent. Definitely very lemony, like acidy lemony. So if you're okay with that, give it a try. $1.25, when even on Grove Collaborative, the all-purpose sprays are between $4 and $5. So I'm giving Dollar Tree a try and thinking that it could end up saving me money in the long run. And I was just as happy with it as with any other all-purpose cleaner. In fact, behind me, you can see my Keurig, and then you can see a spray bottle that has purple liquid in it. That's also from Dollar Tree, and it is a lavender scent. I have to say, if I compare it scent to Mrs. Meyer's, I do like Mrs. Meyer's better, but this was still good. The nozzles feel a little weird, like the very top. They screw completely tight, but the top that you spray from is a little looser. But you get used to it and it's fine. And I think I will definitely buy more Dollar Tree cleaners in the future. I know some people really have a hard time with scents, and so I would never want anyone to go out and buy a ton of them. I'm more bothered by floral scents, or if it's something says linen or something like that, or like pine saw, less oil, those make me really sick. But these ones don't seem to bother me at all. Growing up, my mother would fill a dishpan full of hot water and dish soap, right? And then you put your dirty dishes in there and you wash your dirty dishes. And then she would take her dishcloth and, put it in the hot water, squeeze it out, and she would wipe down the whole kitchen. So in ye olden days, people were not even using all-purpose cleaners. It was a wet rag, or a rag with some dish soap on it. So I feel like, that's kind of something a little newer, or unless my family was just unique in that way, I don't know. You can let me know what your experience was. So honestly, when it comes to all-purpose cleaners, I have to say, to be terribly picky, if you don't need a stain remover, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's more like whatever our preference is, because at the end of the day, hot water does a lot of good, and I don't think we need as many cleaners as we think we need. So what I'm doing now is I'm categorizing. So anything that I would be eating in the morning, I'm putting in one, and I'm just dividing it that way. I did shakes and bars in one. I did things that are more snacky in one, and I organized it that way. And then I'm also going to use labels to help myself so that whenever I get new stock, I know right where to put it. And it also helps me when I'm ordering to know what I would like to order and what I already have. Also, in case you're wondering, once I get everything organized and decluttered and looking nice, this is another area that I just love to open it and see how beautiful it looks. I'm still enjoying under my sink where I organize, and that's kind of how I know that I found a system that works. And I really do enjoy making it as aesthetically pleasing as possible. I don't usually go out and spend a lot of money at once, but building baskets and containers over time is very satisfying, and it does limit the mess to one spot and makes it easy to clean. You'll notice I have a really straight face, and it's because I am in deep concentration, like I am in my own zone here. And some of the times I'm listening to videos, which I love to do when I'm working. It might be a YouTube video. I'm not right now because you can see that I don't have headphones in. I think it was because we had lost power, and so my cell signal wasn't that great. But I'm definitely in the zone, and even though my face is very straight, I assure you I am actually enjoying myself very, very much, and I even pulled up a stool to sit down. This is actually making me more excited to be organizing other areas of the house. Some areas are harder than others, and the hard areas are always where you have more things in that space than what really fit. I like to have each area a bit loose, and that's not always possible it's not just my decision what we keep and what we get rid of. So even if I decide I want to do Dana K. White's method of letting the space determine how much is in there, you have to take into consideration what other people own and what they want as well. If you're new here, by the way, my name is Karen, and I am the mother of 7, but right now it's my husband and I and 4 daughters who live here. So 6 people eating out of this pantry. And the shelves that were in the pantry right now, my husband put in with my son, and about a year ago, I want to say, I emptied it all out, painted it, and put the bird decals that I got on Amazon on the back, which just fills me with joy. The only thing I haven't loved for a long time is the door, and I need to do something about it. I just don't know what I want to do, whether I want to keep those little hanging shelves. I feel like I need them, so that's a stay tuned. I would love to get it figured out. I put saran wrap, actually no, I put freezer bags on the door and some seasonings so that it's easier to find them, but maybe those need to go over where our spices are. That's actually a pretty good idea. So I need to move some things because I'm not real happy with what's there. So I really wanted to have this other basket here on the far right, and then it was kind of symmetrical because I also had one on the left. So that just kind of filled me with joy. Also, the stickers don't really stay on baskets, so it's important to have these clips. I just ordered some more because I'm going to run out, and I had one basket that I had to just put a label on, and it's not sticking very well. So when I get the new clips, they're called Pantry Label Clips, I'll be glad to get those in. If you go on Amazon to get them, scroll down, make sure you're getting the best deal because for one of them, it was only $9.99, but when you read the small print, you're only getting 10 clips. Well, $1 a clip is a terrible deal. And so I ended up getting some pantry labels with the clips because I got more clips for my money, less than $1 a piece for sure. And it came with more pantry labels. I don't need labels, but it made the clips cheaper because even with the labels, I was spending less overall money, if that makes sense. So now I am into the baskets or on the shelf where my daughter Rachel, all of her food is. She has unique food to us because she is dairy-free, gluten-free, and egg-free. And there is some things that we cross over in, but she definitely has her own shelf of staples. And I was happy to get this area reorganized for her. I think it's going to be a lot easier for her to see what she has and a lot easier for us all, and me especially, to be putting things away the same place every time and keeping track of anything that might have expired. We always had to keep a close eye on things like her gluten-free flour because she is the only one using it. Hey!
It's for nothing.
Yeah.
That's good.
The power came back way quicker than we planned on, so that was a beautiful thing. So what you can see, those tall, thin boxes, that are, those are, let's see, graham crackers. SCHAR is the brand, Char. So she does great with the graham crackers, and she really likes that brand. She can't do their bread. Unfortunately, she used to get this brand Energy, which was ENER, and then a hyphen, and then a G. And we can't find it anywhere anymore. So a lot of times it's the binders that are bothering her stomach. And so just like with almond milk, she has to do Khalifa almond milk. That's the only almond milk that she can use because of something called carrageen that is in other almond milks that make her sick. So if you're like her and you just have a lot of gastrointestinal issues, you just have to keep trying till you find a brand that works. Just like the Jovial pasta, Jovial, works really, really well for her as well. Most pastas that are brown rice pastas don't bother her stomach. It's just some of them are gummier than others and not like real texture pasta. We also love the King Arthur gluten-free flour because it is a 1-to-1 ratio. And I can make her things like pizza crust, with that flour, or even a pie crust if I use Crisco. Obviously, I'm not using butter. She also uses Earth Balance butter, which she really enjoys, and she uses the Daiya mozzarella shreds, which is Daiya. I mean, I think with the mozzarella shreds, she's just used to what that tastes like. So anyway, here is what I have left on the island. And we're going to get these baskets cleaned out, and then I'll have to make sure I find spots for anything that is miscellaneous. I was starting to fizzle a little bit. You know, you get worn out as you do these projects, no matter how much you love them. And so I thought a cup of coffee was in order. So I made myself a cup of coffee, sat down for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I got up and kept working. I'm actually just enjoying it. It's a day at home. The sun is shining outside, even though we had that power outage, just a little bit of wind. It's very pretty with enough snow cover to be pretty. And I can just completely get in the zone here and work the day away happily. In this basket, I have odds and ends for cooking, like you saw, Crisco and breadcrumbs. I'm taking out beans that are just small and aren't going to be seen. I need to figure out something for dry beans. Anyway, red lentils, you know, all of those types of things that don't go anywhere else. I'm putting here my sugar, flour, all of those things are on the top shelf of the pantry, all in canister keepers that I got, I think pretty much all of them at Walmart. I have not exhausted looking everywhere, but in general, I have found the best prices on these straw baskets are actually at TJ Maxx, with a good selection of sizes. You can get certain baskets at the Dollar Tree for $5. It's really about what size they are and whether they're big enough. So these, I would love for them all match, but I got them at all different times. And so I feel like the color makes it so that it really doesn't matter if they 100% match. Now, these popcorn containers, they're so cool, but we've had them for like 2 years and we literally never use them, even though we think they're so cute. And we do make our own popcorn. So I decided it was time to go ahead and get rid of them. And I'm going to put beverages in this container: iced tea, lemonade, and hot cocoa. You're seeing this on Friday, January 31st, and on my holiday calendar it says inspire your heart with art today. So there is my resident artist, Rachel, walking through the room. And I just thought I would let you know that she has some new art pieces on her website, also some coloring pages. She is looking at perhaps making a coloring book. I'm going to put her links in my description box as well as in the first comment. I'll pin it in case you would like to go over and look. For those of you who purchased her art before, we appreciate you so much. And she has a couple of new pieces that you can look at, as well as those coloring pages. She also has screen, wallpaper for your phone, a couple of different things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put her link. She just started selling her art near the end of 2024, and I'm so proud of her. It's hard to put yourself out there, and she is doing the thing.
Are you still into these?
Who does that with the Doritos, girl?
Damn.
I bought more though because they're on sale.
Ooh. Whoa.
Now I'm on to the floor storage and the shopping bags here. I have one that has sweet potatoes in it, one that has onions. I keep the onions separated from the potatoes because onions can make potatoes spoil. I don't know if that's true for sweet potatoes or not, but I'm not using the straw basket for them anymore because I had some white potatoes go bad in the basket, and you know how potatoes are when they go bad. They're pretty gross. So I thought, I need to have something I could just wipe out if I'm going to have a container for potatoes. So for right now, they're in a grocery bag that won't, leak. So I'm putting the nuts up here on this shelf, and I just started out, I'm putting the box of soup, bread, and pasta in that basket. I had a moral dilemma with the almonds that you're going to see, because originally I put the almonds on that shelf and I'm like, oh, what to do, because that was hiding my birds. It's all about seeing the decals in the back of the seat. Look, watch. And I'm like, wait, maybe if I lay them down, it would be better. And then I'm like, no, if I lay them down, then nobody's going to see them. So in the end, let's see, what's she going to do? She's putting them behind the snacks, because technically almonds are snacks. Also, behind the scenes, I was having a bad hair day, so I decided to put partial ponytail in the back. And when I see it on film, I'm like, wow, if that doesn't put the pony in ponytail, I don't know what does. And here's me putting a sticker on straw, which doesn't work very well, which is why I bought more clips. And now I am up at the top, and I'm seeing what is behind the canisters. So the canisters are in the front, and then I have Rubbermaid containers in the back for like cupcakes and that sort of thing when you take them out. It's also where I put that box for the s'mores. So I'm just seeing what's behind there in case anything needs to come out, and kind of deciding where all the canisters will fit, because we have like regular sugar, raw sugar, coconut sugar, brown sugar, confectioner's sugar. There's so many sugars, and my family loves to bake. It's amazing to me as I watch this how little of it I actually eat that is in my pantry. Also, side note, even though my dining room table is messy right now with a big old bag of peanuts for squirrels, and we got a package in the mail, a box, and there's a cup there, I am loving seeing my chandelier up there. It just makes my heart happy. I bought that and I was afraid it was going to be too big, but I actually really love it. So here is where I keep cat treats and bird food, and I have some hummingbird food in the back, my big gallon of white vinegar. And then to my right side that I haven't taken out yet is the two plastic containers that have cleaners in it. And I have the cleaners I use all the time in the front, and then in the back are overflow cleaners. So if I get more than what fits in that box, I need to make sure I'm using things up before I buy more. This was a pretty easy area to do, because it's really about taking everything out, sweeping it, and putting everything back in. What I keep here on the floor has been working out fine, so I don't really feel like it's anything that I need to change. And I do love having my cleaners here. I also keep there was maple syrup in with my cleaners. I also have cleaners like in the bathrooms. I have some cleaners in my hall closet. I like to have cleaners wherever I'm going to use them. And now that I'm putting this back, I'm about to show you the after shot. We go from cramped hot mess to this dreamy pantry. All right, what did you think? If you think it went well, please hit the like button. Or if you like videos like this, we're going to go through decluttering and organizing my entire house this year. And I hope it gives you some motivation, inspiration, encouragement to either do the same in your house, or to do whatever it is on your list, or maybe you just need some relaxation time watching someone else work. Anyways, remember as always that God loves you, and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.